rich. I'm rich. They are the real thing. Doubloons, pieces of 8.
I think if it hadn't been for Nancy, I never would have found it.
Well, it was Ned's shoulders that made it possible.
True, true.
I'd say everybody came out pretty well. You know, if your estimate is correct, Professor, you're going to net $2 million from that find. Yeah. And that will entitle you to $200,000, Mr. Jensen.
Sure, and that's a lot more than I figured I'd ever see. Why, that'll buy me and the missus our trip to Ireland 1,000 times over.
Yes, it will. Well, we have some papers to sign. Why don't you come on over to the desk?
Oh, thank you.
Ned?
Well, it looks like the perfect ending. How was New York?
Oh, incredible. A shopping spree to end all. But wait till I show you what I got.
I've got nothing but time. You seem to have solved the lighthouse problem.
Oh, no. And here I am charging in with what I thought was a sensational clue.
What is it?
Well, they had the same treasure book the professor showed us.
Huh?
I used the library photocopier to duplicate that chapter. Now look at the map. You'll notice something pretty peculiar.
They're not the same.
Right.
They're almost the same. This one's about a lighthouse in Florida. George, you're the greatest.
Well, hello.
Hi.
You, come to help me load my van?
Not exactly.
You love a mystery, don't you?
This one's been quite a challenge.
Yes, but you solved it.
Yes, I think so.
Well, I've got a lot to do. If you want to talk, you'll either have to wait for me or follow me around. How do you see this ghost? She's a brave lass.
I've never thought of you as particularly dangerous. But you are devious. And smart.
Now, what are you talking about?
Well, you rewrote history and put your own chapter into that textbook. That was to give credibility for us finding the treasure.
But Nancy, we did find the treasure.
We found a treasure. But I think you planted it there.
Oh, I see. I bought this old lighthouse, lugged in $2 million in gold, just so I could give away a $200,000 reward.
That's right. Because you wanted to be able to spend the money. All income has to be reported to the government. That means you have to report where all the money came from. Gangsters go to all sorts of trouble to put crooked money into their legitimate bank accounts.
Come on, Nancy. Do I look like a gangster?
Doesn't mean you couldn't be dishonest. If I were to guess, I'd say you somehow got your hands on $2 million you couldn't explain.
Explain to whom?
The Internal Revenue Service, your friends, maybe even the police. Unless you wanted to leave the United States, you had to come up with a story for all your newfound wealth. And that reward would be a small price to pay for putting all that money into your bank account. No questions asked.
Who knows you came out here?
Everybody.
They also know why?
Of course.
No. They never would have let you come.
They give you life for murder.
Unfortunately, Nancy, they also give you life for hijacking an airliner. Nancy!
Don't do it. It's not worth it.
I don't want to, Nancy. Believe me. I didn't want any of this, but they were watching me. Nancy, I got away with $2 million. Parachuted into a forest, broke both my legs. Sat alone in a cave and mended myself back into shape. Then, when I came out, I couldn't spend a dime. Nothing. They were watching me. I don't know how, but they suspected something. They just couldn't prove it. But I still couldn't spend a dime. It's taken me 3 years to pull this off. I'm sorry, Nancy. I'm sorry you left me no other choice.
Hold it right there, Professor!
We've waited a long time, Professor. You almost got away with it.
You almost had us beat, Professor.
You were the ghost in the tower.
That's right. We knew he'd try to wash the money somehow. Gold coins. Very clever. Well, when he bought this land, we just waited and watched. His scheme was darn near foolproof. Almost worked. If you hadn't smoked him out, young lady.
Nancy!
Take him away.
You all right?
I'm fine, Father.
What happened here? George told us that you'd rush back out here, and about the book.
This young lady took a big chance confronting the professor.
She's always taking chances. She seems to think she's some sort of detective.
Part-time investigator.
Let me tell you something. I've been on this case 3 years. She isn't bad.
Thanks a lot for the dinner, Mr. Drew.
Listen, Ned, I owe you a lot more than the dinner for getting Nancy out of that fix.
Me, too.
Oh, it was nothing. All in the line of duty. At least we cracked the case.
We sure did. Tell me, Ned, how did the professor convert his $2 million into old coins?
Well,
He became a coin dealer. Right, Ned?
yeah, that's right. A coin dealer.
He placed mail order ads in European newspapers all over, buying pieces of eight, doubloons, whatever fit the bill. They were purchased through a post office box. It took him 3 years to accumulate a trunk full. Right, Ned?
Yeah, that's right. I give up. How did you figure that one out, Nancy?
Elementary, my dear Ned. First, I removed a small coin from this old antique to buy the morning paper. And I read the professor's full confession.